multi-frame request and response format. So for multi-frame request and response, let's consider again the read data byte identifier as an service where we have a one DID, and for that we may have a multiple data bytes more than like 5 or 6. It will be 8 byte we will consider as in this example, and we are expecting that data bytes as a response. So we can see the request will still remains in the single frame request. So here we will consider the 22. So 22 is again the read data by identifier, and F1 20 is the DID. Okay, and so it is the length will remain same 3, so that's why 03 will be the first byte in case of single frame request. Now we are coming to the multi-frame response. Okay, so for a multi-frame response, when we have a more than data more than like more data where we which cannot fit into the single frame response, then we will go for a multi-frame. So multi-frame basically will contain the like first frame. So whenever we are going to send a response, then first we need to send the first frame, and then we will be sending the consecutive frame. So the for the first frame, we will be sending the one which is, so I will go to the format of that part. So this is the first like upper byte, upper nibble of that should be a 1, and lower nibble plus this 8 bit. So total 12 bit if you consider. So the total 12 bit should indicate the length. So if you consider the first one, like if you consider the first frame, so this indicates the 1 bit number 4 to 7, and this 4 bit plus 8 bit, total 12 bit should indicate the length. Okay, so here in this case our length is 0 00B, okay, which is of 12 bit. So it is a 12 bit. So maximum response byte we can send with this is like 2 raised to 12, which is a 4096. And that is the reason when we are dealing with the a block size in the block size for the download of a one block in a bootloader, and that's why we can send maximum 4095 of data length, data bytes, okay, in the one block. That is the maximum which can support. So the one nibble indicate for the first nibble like indicate the first frame indicator, and the remaining 12 bit indicate the length. Then actually we will be sending the actual response byte with the SID, DID, and the actual data. So here again in this case 22 plus 40 will be 62. Then the same bytes as in DID F120. So here we have F120, and let's consider the starting first total. It the this DID has an 8 data byte which is linked with this DID. So let's consider the first 3 bytes we are sending in the first frame. So remaining byte we need to send in the consecutive frame. Okay, so let's consider the byte 1 2 3 is having the value 1 2 and 3. This is just for example. So now how how the value b as in length coming, so that we need to calculate how it should come, that we will see now. So as we talk about, there will be 8 data bytes. Okay, so 8 data bytes plus 2 byte for the DID and 1 byte for the SID. So 8 plus 2 plus 1 means 11. 8 plus 2 means 10. 10 plus 1 means 11, and 11 is the if we if we talk about hex value, then it is a b. So that's why we have a b over here into the response. So once we will get so in this case we will see how the actual flow will happen. So let's consider this is the request from a tester. Okay, and this is the response where we will be giving the single. So single frame request will be sent from the tester, and multi-frame response is sent for the as in first frame is sent from the ECU. Now once we'll send the first frame from the ECU, then there should be an indication from the tester that we can continue to send the data. Okay, so how we can make sure that like whatever the first frame, like if we send the continuously other frame, so we need to make sure that is like tester is okay with the other bytes of other frames to be sent. So for that reason we have a flow control as a type of frame. So that's why we need to send a flow control. So let's talk about the flow control in our case. So flow control, like the first nibble should be of 3, then flow status, then block length, then separation time. Okay, so in this case, like once we'll send the response from the ECU, then tester will get that in a response, and then it needs to send the flow control byte. So as we talk about, the first nibble should be of 3, that's why we have a 3, which indicates the flow control frame. Then 0, where which indicates the we are okay to, like we can send continuously. Okay, so 0 indicate continue to send. And then we have a block size and the st minimum. So block size will indicate that after a number of frames, again we do need to send the flow control. So that's why block size will come to the picture. So I think we will not talk about that in this video much, but I will just tell you, like the block size will indicate, like after that much consecutive frame, again if we have a 5 there, then that much consecutive frame can be sent. Then again we need to have a flow control to continue to send. So then separation time, that is the time interval between the two frames. So ideally it should be a 0. However, it may vary depending on a situation and a requirement. So this is the flow control which we are going to get from the tester, just to indicate that tester is okay with continue to send other frames. So once we get this response from the tester, then we are okay from the ECU to send to the consecutive frame. So first we will be from ECU are sending the first frame, and when it is accepted by the tester, then we should go for a consecutive frame. So always the first nibble of the consecutive first byte, first nibble will be start with the 2. As we can see in the consecutive frame format, the first nibble should be 2, then the sequence number which will start with 1 in always, then it will be continue to increase. As we have one nibble only, it will continue to increase till f value, then it will roll back to 0. So it will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 a b c d e f, and then it will roll over to 0. But first it will always start with 1, because we have already sent the first frame, and it is not a first frame, that's why it will start with the 1, then it will roll back after f to the 0. So here we are sending 2 1 as in consecutive frame. Then our rest of the data byte we can send. Okay, so rest of the data byte we have this, that is 4 5 6 7 8. So then we are sending those data bytes as an response. So this is the complete flow for the multi-frame request, like single frame request and multi-frame response, though this is the request is still single frame. Okay, so I can correct over here. Okay, single frame request and multi-frame response. So I hope you are much clear with this now. Okay, so if you have any question, you can just make a comment, and I will try to answer you whatever queries you have. And I think this is the short video where we can understand the how exactly UDS request and response will flow for the single frame request and the multi-frame request or response. So in the other case, where there could be a case where we have a multi-frame as an request itself. So then where we need to send more than 8 data bytes into the request itself, then we need